everyone, so welcome you back to Ashok Tutorials, Meghalaya's first MTET channel. Alright, so today we are going to learn about reading for meaning. So you very well know what do we mean by reading, right? Yes, so reading with understanding, reading across the curriculum, different type of texts, use of dictionaries, encyclopedia, internet, newspaper, magazines, notice, advertisements, stories, poems, riddles, joke, and instructions for games. So all these are the topics or subtopics which we shall be studying in this video. Reading with understanding refers to the ability to read and comprehend various types of text across different subjects and genres. So here, reading with understanding. What do we mean by reading with understanding? Reading with understanding means the ability to comprehend or the ability to understand what we are reading, right? So different type of we might be reading newspapers, we might be reading dictionaries, poems, riddles, joke, right? So different things we might be reading. So it's a crucial skill for students as it helps them acquire knowledge, make informed decisions, and engage with world effectively. Let's break down these skills with examples across various types of texts. See, reading is a very reading is a skill which is required by every individual, not only every individual, especially the students, right? So the students, they should be well versed in reading. That's why, what do we do? Not only in English, even in other subjects, we ask students to stand up and read the chapter, right? So why do we do that? We do that in order to improve the reading skills of the learner or to improve the reading skills of the students, right? So there are different all right, let's break down this skill with examples across various types of text. So first of all, we have textbooks. So textbook means what? Textbook means especially the books designed for our schools, right? The embossed textbooks, the NCERT textbooks. So all these are the textbook which is specially designed for the school, right? So understanding the content of a history textbook helps students learn about the past. Example, the causes and effects of World War II. All right, so this is about textbook. So what does textbook do? Textbook have different contents, they have different chapters, right? Then there are different type of textbook depending on the subject: science, history, then civics, geography, English, mathematics, right? So different subjects have different content. Now dictionaries and encyclopedias. So dictionaries, all of with the advancement in mobile technology these days, we are not using the dictionaries much, but then use of dictionary is a very good habit because it improves your language power, your vocabulary, everything improves drastically. So encyclopedias, you might have seen, right, the big books which have the detailed explanation of that particular subject or particular topic. Using a dictionary to comprehend word meanings, example, looking metamorphosis to understand a biological text. Yes, so why do we use dictionaries? We use dictionaries in order to understand the meaning of the word, right? Metamorphosis means what? It is the process which in which the organism, they change their shapes, right? Process of metamorphosis takes place in different type of small animals, right? In small animals like in butterflies, in moth. So this process takes place. So consulting an encyclopedia to gain detailed information about a historical event, example, the French Revolution. So this is what I was saying, that encyclopedia means the book which contains the detailed explanation of that particular subject or topic. Example, French Revolution here, right? Now internet, what do you understand by internet? Reading articles and academic papers online is just understanding the principles of climate change from a scientific website. Here I need not say much, I'll just give the example of my channel, Ashok Tutorials. So how are you getting the access to my channel? You are getting access to this channel through internet. You are watching my videos on YouTube, right? You are getting my notes online, right? So everything we are doing online. And how are we doing it? With the help of internet we are doing it, right? So that's how online thing works. Now filling up your online applications for MTET examination. Yesterday was the last date, right? So what happened? You have done the payment, the filling up the form, everything you did online, right? So how was it done? It was done with the help of internet, right? So you very well know what are the advantages of using internet. The Instagram you're using, the Facebook, the WhatsApp, the Telegram, everything is connected through internet, right? Now, newspapers and magazines. Analyzing a news article to comprehend current event, example, understanding the implication of recent political decision, reading a health magazine to understand the latest trends in nutrition and exercise. Now, you see, these days, though mobile has replaced everything, right? Now we don't need to buy newspaper. Everything is available in our mobile phones. Magazines we need not buy. But then in the olden time, even today, in some of the places, but rarely we find newspapers, we find magazines, different type of magazines, right? Like health related magazines, fashion related magazines, then medical magazines. So different type of magazines we find, right? The car magazines, the house magazines. So different topics they are taking and they are explaining about it, right? Like the Wisdom, you used to get this small magazine before, Wisdom, then India Today, Outlook, Notice Sun. So all this, Now let's see notes and advertisement. Interpreting a notice to understand an upcoming event, school event, example, a field trip announcement. Reading an advertisement to make informed choices like selecting a product based on features. So notices and advertisement, what do we mean by, see, we as learners, we are always scrolling our phone and looking for the advertisement. We are looking for the job, right? But sometimes we are not eligible, sometimes there is no enough time, sometimes the location of the job is very far. So accordingly, like whatever is convenient for us, we are doing, we are taking the steps according to the need, according to the situation, right? So how do we come to know all this? We come to know all this by reading newspapers or by browsing through the stories, the news feeds, right? Then we come across different type of advertisements, right? And accordingly we apply. The notices. So we as teachers, we know that in our school notices are given out, right? Notices for making the question papers, notice for the assembly, notice for the parents meet, notice for the teachers meet. So all these things happens, right? Then stories and novels. You very well know what do we mean by stories and novels. Understanding the plot, character and themes in a novel. To Kill a Mockingbird. So why are then analyzing a poem to grasp its themes and symbolism, example, Robert Frost's The Road Not Taken. So stories, so we read different type of stories, yes or no? Yes, we read different type of stories. Prose, different type of prose, we read different type of prose, right? We read different type of novels. And then poems also, we read different type of poems, right? The Human Season, A Thing of Beauty is a Thing of Beauty is a Joy Forever. Then Where the Mind is Without Fear, The Human Seasons, right? Different type of poems are there. Then we also read riddles and jokes. Comprehending the wordplay and humor in a joke, real example, understanding a pun or a clever punchline. So riddles, different type of riddles, right? We enjoy reading riddles. Then we exercise our brain, right? Then jokes, and people who are very playful, who are funny, and who like to make fun, who like to enjoy a lot, who like to make others laugh, is actually a good character according to me. Otherwise, if you are always on the serious mode, you become very boring to the opposite person. The opposite person does not feel like talking to you, does not feel like coming nearby you. So you should have a childlike heart, light-hearted person. You should be very much approachable. You should not take everything seriously. Everything is not so serious. You know why? Because seriousness, when do we say somebody is serious? We say somebody is serious when we find that person in hospital, right? So we are not in hospital, so why to be so serious? So learn to take things lightly, learn to take things easily, right? Let it be easy, let it be funny, let it be enjoying. Sometimes people make fun of ourselves, but we take it too seriously, we take it deep down into our hearts. No need. That is others' perspective. They might be kidding you, but you are taking it seriously. So once they find you take everything personally and seriously, so nobody will like to joke about you, or nobody will like to joke with you, and they will not like to come closer to you. So that's why My dear friends, like, feel free, be easy like a Sunday morning, no? Westlife song is there. So you can be easy. Instructions for games, following game rules and instructions to play board games or video games. Example, understanding how to set up and play chess. See, there are instructions given not only in these games, but instructions are given. Suppose you are buying a mobile phone, suppose you are buying a guitar, suppose you are buying a rice cooker, suppose you are buying a suppose you are buying some electronics like TV or computer or laptop. So instructions are given, right? So how do we operate that particular machine, or how do we operate that particular thing? So instructions are given, right? Similarly in games and all, also before the athletes they play, we give the instructions. You are supposed to do this, you are supposed to play the game in the spirit of sportsmanship, right? So all these instructions we give. To read with understanding across the curriculum, students need to develop skills such as vocabulary. See, vocabulary I was telling you all about in my last video also, right? So if you have a good vocabulary, means you are expert in that language. The ability to grasp the meaning of a word within different context, right? So this is vocabulary. Now inference, inferring meaning from context and identifying implicit information in the context, in the text. So inference means how do we infer certain things, how do we understand the context, and how do we identify it, and how do we comprehend it. Critical thinking, evaluating the credibility and reliability of sources. Critical thinking is one of the skills we as learners need to inculcate in ourselves, like why this thing is happening, how this thing is happening. So we should have that abstract thinking ability, summarization, creating concise summaries of the main points in the text. So we as teachers, we are explaining the concept, the whole chapter we explain in 1 week, and later on in one period of 30 minutes we should be able to summarize the entire topic, right? Entire chapter. Text structure, recognizing how different type of text are organized. Example, cause and effect, compare and contrast. So we should be able to recognize or find out like how different type of text are organized or arranged. Example, cause and effect, compare and contrast. So these things we need to take care of. Visualization, creating mental images of the text content to aid comprehension. Teachers play a critical role in teaching these skills, and students should be encouraged to practice reading across various texts to enhance the understanding and critical thinking abilities. So whenever we are talking or whenever we are reading something, there are some images going on and on in our brain, right? Suppose I say blue, suddenly a color comes into your brain, right? Suppose I say apple, suddenly an image come into your brain, right? Suppose I say car, again another image came, right? Let me give you one more example. Suppose I say your colleagues, the image came into your brain, right? So this is how we should imagine and we should study, right? Now, audience performing reading. Audience performance reading refers to the practice of reading a text or a piece of literature in a manner that engages and entertains an audience. It involves using vocal expressions, body language, and dramatic interpretation to bring the words on the page to life. This type of reading is often used in contexts like public speaking, storytelling, theater, and presentations to captivate the audience and convey the intended message effectively. So we all know, right? Audience performance reading, which means like if we are reading like storytelling or poem recitation, so these things we do in order to gain the public's attention. Suppose we are performing, this is like a performance, right? We are standing on stage with a piece of paper and you are reading it out, but you should be able to express what the poet is trying to say in your voice, using certain intonation, using certain stimulus variation. So you should use all this type of techniques. When you are reading, you should show some emotions, then pronunciations, then punctuation. So all these things you should be taken care of. Then only what you intend to say will be definitely understood by the audience, and audience will love what you said or what you read, right? It should be very, very interesting. So all the skills or all the elements of the speech should be included when you are reading a certain text. Here are some key elements of audience performance reading along with examples. Tone and inflation. See, varying the tone and inflation of your voice to match the emotions and mood of the text. For example, when reading a suspenseful part of a story, you might use a hush and tense tone to build anticipation. So, when you are good at dialogue, then you are good at this. So, tone means what? Suppose you are reading something very happy and exciting, you should be like, hello everyone, so welcome you back to Ashok Tutorials. So this is Meghalaya's first Amted channel, so you should be speaking like this. But suppose you are saying something scary. Hey Amted aspirants, now hardly 20 days is left for your examination, so you have to be very, very cautious now, like this, right? And then sometimes if you are angry, the tone of voice should be different. Hey, why did you do this? Please get out of the classroom, right? We say to our students, hey, why did you do this? Why did you break my chair? Or why did you break this bench? Or why did you write on the board? So we scream, right? So, everything matters in the tone of voice. And suppose you are talking to your loved ones, to your partners. That time I know word does not matter, right? Just you imagine Bryan Adams' song, no? That what? Looking to your eyes, something like that, right? So just by looking at the eyes of your lover, everything is understood, right? So here what happens, word does not matter. But when you love somebody, of course, your tone of voice becomes very, very soft, right? So now, suppose you're walking down the street, or you're just passing by somewhere, or you're just sitting somewhere, you try to observe the people around you, the boys and girls around you. What will you see? The tone of their voice will tell you to whom they are talking. You will understand by the tone of their voice that they are talking to somebody special, right? So they smile, then they become extra soft, then they blush. So by all these expressions, you understand that they are talking to somebody they love, right? So human beings, we are the intelligent beings. We are able to think, right? We are able to think very well. So that's why what happens, we have different tone of voice for different situations. When we are angry, it is different. When we are sad, it is different. When we are in love, it is different. When we are happy, it is different, right? So accordingly, we can change it. Character voices. Using distinct voices and accents for different characters in a story. For instance, if you are reading children's book with multiple characters, you can give each character a unique voice to make the narrative more engaging. Suppose you are reading a conversation between the mother and the child. So the mother will say, Mary, come and have your breakfast. This is what mother said. Then child will say, Mama, just give me 2 minutes. Let me pack my school bag and I'll come. So these are the tone of voices by which you can make your stories very interesting, pacing, yes. Adjusting the speed at which you read to suit the narrative. For example, when describing an action-packed scene, you might read more quickly, and for moments of reflection, slow down the pace. So now you see, your pace or your speed also matters. Suppose you are saying something very exciting, so you will say in a more, speed way. You will say with more speed. But when you are reading out certain emotions, your speed will decrease, right? Yes or no? When you are like, no, as I make my video, I always say, hello everyone, welcome you to Ashok Tutorials. So I'm saying it fast, right? Speed. But then when I go to some sensitive topics or sensitive talk, I become soft, right? Yes. Then let's see gestures and body language. Incorporating appropriate gestures and movements to enhance reading. For example, when reading a story about a character reaching out, you can extend your arms to mimic the action. Yes. Now, what do you understand by gestures and body language? See, when we are talking or when we are speaking, it does not only mean that we are talking with our mouth. So we also try to use our hands, right? Some of us, we have more we use more of our hands, more of our gestures. Some of us we use less, but definitely all of us we use is the body language or the gestures. Now when we are using body language or gestures, the topic which we are explaining becomes very easy, right? Why? Because it is engaging the children in such a way that they are able to listen, and at the same time they are able to look or feel at the character, what the character is trying to say. Now facial expression, using facial expressions to convey emotions and reactions as you read. Smiling, frowning, or raising your eyebrows can help the audience connect with the text. Suppose using facial expression means what? Using your emotions. Sometimes you're smiling means, suppose you have asked something from the student, what do you mean by emotion? The student seems to be nervous, then you will smile. A light smile you'll pass, and you will say, does not matter if your answer is wrong, just try to answer it. Then suppose if when you're writing on the board and students are making noise, then you look behind with your angry face, right? And you'll raise your eyebrows. Who did that, right? So different type of facial expressions we have, right? Now engagement with the audience, making eye contact, acknowledging the audience reaction, and even asking questions to involve them in the reading. For example, in a classroom setting, you might ask the students how to think a character will react in a specific situation. Now see what happens. We as teachers, we are the performers, but who are our audience? The students are our audience, right? So our teaching should be engaging. Our teaching should be in such a way that we are engaging. Our teaching should be engaging. Our teaching should be in such a way that we are interacting with the learners. We are making eye contact with the learners. The learners are able to grasp what we are trying to say, right? So there should be there should be a relationship, there should be sharing of words, there should be discussions. So I see some of the classrooms where the teacher only teaches and no response is taken from the student side. So as teachers, we should be engaging the learner, because the teaching should be learner centered, right? Not teacher centered. If it was to be teacher centered, then the teacher should be if it was a teacher centered work, then there was no need of the learners. But since teaching is a learner centered work, so learner is the main focus of the classroom, right? So we should focus on the learner. So how do we focus on the learner? We focus on the learner by engaging them, right? So there were different beautiful quotations. I cannot exactly recall now, but there are beautiful ones, like show me I forget, show me I forget, then show me I forget, tell me I remember, involve me I never forget. So show me I forget, tell me I remember, and involve me I never forget. Which means if we are involving the learner in our process of teaching, asking them examples, asking them to stand up and come forward and write on the boards, we are engaging the learners, and they will remember it for a longer period of time, what they are learning in the class. All right, now let's see emotional depth. Delving into the emotion of text and conveying them passionately. For example, when reading a poem about love, you might infuse your reading with heartfelt emotions. That's what the John Keats poem is a very beautiful one. That's my favorite one. In fact, I love it. So what does it say? It says that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases and it will never pass into nothingness. Which means if something is beautiful, it will keep on increasing its beauty. It will go on and on and on. All right, and its beauty will never like pass into nothingness. Its value will never decrease. In fact, it will always increase. All right, so this is one of the beautiful poem of John Keats. Now, pause is an emphasis. Using strategic pause and emphasizing keywords or phrases to highlight important points in text. This can add dramatic effect to the reading. Examples of where audience performing reading is used include. All right, So pauses and emphasizes, which word should we emphasize on, where should we pause. So these things we should know. Storytelling, storytellers use these techniques to engage and entertain an audience during live performances. Now those who are telling the stories, they use this emphasis and they use the pauses, where to pause, how to pause. So they wait for few seconds in order to note the response of the audience, right? Theater, actors read and perform script to bring character to life on stage. So you watch different type of movies, right? So how the actors are performing, you have seen that. If they perform whole entire dialogue in the same manner, you will not understand what the mood of the actor is, right? But since they use different type of tones, different type of emphasis, different type of poses, different type of emotions, we are able to understand what they intend to say. Now, public speaking. Public speakers use expressively reading to connect with their audience and convey their message effectively. Now, you see motivational speakers, right? You see Sandeep Maheshwari. So how are they speaking in front of us? They speak in front of with lots of emotions, with lots of feelings, with lots of energy, right? With lots of knowledge, with a loud voice, with a clear voice, with a proper understanding of the subject. So we try to understand and we are able to connect to them in a more positive way, right? Reading aloud in education. Teachers use performance reading to make stories and lessons more engaging for students. Yes, reading aloud. So when we are asking our students to read in the classroom, even first of all we read and show them, right? If suppose it's a small class, we read first and then the learners, they read. Audio narration. Professional narrators use these techniques to make audiobooks more immersive for listeners. Now you see podcast, right? Podcast, where the audio form of the speech or the lecture can be heard, right? Yes or no? Yes. So what happens, when the audio is said in a very proper way, with proper intonation of the voice, tone of the voice, stimulus variation, then it becomes very easy and understanding for the audience, interesting and entertaining for the audience to acknowledge what you are trying to say, right? So the audio, the speech, the power of knowledge, the power of language you have can bring the text into life. You can really give life to each and every word written on the poem if you are able to read it properly, if you are able to express it properly. So this is the power of language. If you are well versed, if you have a good command over the language, if you are expert in that particular language, you can really rock the world with your speech, with your voice, with your language. So everything depends on your hard work, on your smart work, on your exercises, on your practice, on how often you engage yourself with the people in conversing. And there are certain people who do not like to talk much, however there are certain people who like to talk so much. So I also belong to the second group, that is, I also like to talk so much with the people. I like to make friends. So if you are child at heart, everything is easy. Whenever you're traveling, you will see in behind the Scorpios, behind the Boleros especially, it is written live young, live free. What does it mean? It might have different meaning, but what I understand is live young, live free means when we are young, we have no tensions. We don't care who likes us, who do not like us. We don't care, right? What the people will say, we do not care. If I do this, how will I look? If I wear this dress, how will I look? If I talk to somebody may not like it. So we never care. So that's why we say, if you are living a young life, or if you are child at your heart, you have no problem at all. You don't have to think about people. Just focus on your own life. If you focus on your life, you don't care about others. And if you don't care about others, your life is full of happiness. You are not bound to others. You are not answerable to others. This is your life. Live it the way you like, right? Live it the way you like. I see many people, many of my friends, no, if I ask them, why are you doing this, why are you doing that, they say like, in my society, people, they don't like if I wear this kind of dress, or my society people, they don't like this, or my family people, they don't like this. So if you are matured enough, you understand what is good for you, what is bad for you, right? So accordingly you dress up, and you know your body, your mind, your life, so the choice should also be yours, right? Of course, when you are a young child, your parents can guide you. But if, I know those who are watching my videos, most of you are teachers, right? Or aspiring to be teachers. So as teachers, we should be able to make our own choices, right? We should be able to make our own choices, because if we are not clear what we want to do, then how are we going to build the future of the nation? That is, how are we going to teach our learners? See, teacher does not mean just teaching from the textbook. From textbook anybody can teach, but the way you behave, the way you respond, the attitude you have, the personality you have, the way you carry yourself in front of the students, in front of the staffs, in front of the colleagues, in front of your friends, among your family members, so that is what you, who actually you are, right? So that is what a teacher actually is, right? Teacher means, teaching is not an easy job actually, but many people, they misunderstand teaching as something like the last option. When they have nowhere to go, they come and join teaching, right? But this is not so. If this is so, then why are we writing this MTET examination again and again? Why are we doing DLED? Why are we doing B.Ed, right? So it is not easy. Nothing is easy actually. So this was about language, right? So writing to learn. So next we will be learning about writing to learn. How are we supposed to write, right? How are we supposed to write? So this is all in this video, and I would like to I would like to thank each and every one of you for staying connected with Ashok Tutorials, for showing your love and support. And also recently I have opened that WhatsApp group. WhatsApp group means I have opened a channel, right? WhatsApp channel. So if you wish to join, please kindly join it. I will share the link of that channel in this video. And also, you know, in YouTube I have around 1200 subscribers, but in Telegram group we are just 136. So you know, those out of 1200, 1000 of them are not able to, you know, are not able to benefit what Ashok Tutorials is trying to give, or what Ashok Tutorials is trying to say or tell or explain. So you know, it's kind of sad, you know, to know that 1000 of them, they do not know about Telegram. In Telegram we text every day. I give you information about different things, right? In YouTube it is not possible that every day I'll be posting a video. It is not possible. But in Telegram it is easy. In WhatsApp it is easy. So what am I doing is that I'm sharing morning thoughts, evening thoughts with you, right? Then if there is any upcoming examination like CTET notification, KVS notification, MTET notification, DLED notification, NET notification, B.Ed notification, so all these things I'm sharing with you, right? And if you need, I can also share some of the news, like some of the openings or job vacancies, whichever is available in Meghalaya. So if you wish, I can share that also with you, but it depends on you. If you want, I will share. If you don't want, that's not my work to do. My work is just to educate you. My work is just to teach you about MTET, about CDP, about English, about maths, about science, about social science, right? So my work is just to make you ready for that MTET examination. And I know you guys can really do wonders. You can really do wonders. So I always wish best for you. I hope best for you. And you please make your CDP strong. Once your CDP is strong, you will pass definitely, and you will pass very, very effortlessly. But if you are focusing on other part, and if you're not focusing on CDP, then you will have a tough time. And as I keep on repeating, no, that CDP is there in all the subjects. 10 to 15 marks is coming from CDP. So if your CDP is strong, you will do wonders and you will pass. And once you pass, we shall meet together. All right, so once you pass nicely, we shall be meeting somewhere. All of us, we will meet. All right, so wishing you all the best, and thank you everyone for being connected with Ashok Tutorials, Meghalaya's first AMTET channel. Thank you.